Today, we're talking about Senator Mitch McConnell's plans to leave leadership, the largest wildfire in Texas history, updates on former President Trump's legal battles, and other top news for Friday, March 1st. Stay informed while remaining focused on Christ with the pour-over today. Here's the quote of the day. If you are going to walk with Jesus Christ, you are going to be opposed. In our days, to be a true Christian is really to become a scandal. George Whitefield. Let's get started with some espresso shots. Mitch McConnell announced he'll step down as party leadership after the 2024 election, ending his run as the Senate's longest-serving captain in history. The 82-year-old has had a tough year, facing health concerns and frequently finding himself at odds with former President Trump, but received praise from his fellow Republicans for his substantial and positive impact. While stepping out of leadership, he'll remain in the Senate through 2027. Meanwhile, Senator Sidney Hyde-Smith cast a sole vote blocking a federal IVF protection bill that was introduced after Alabama's recent IVF ruling. Hyde-Smith said she supports total access to IVF, but criticized the bill's language, saying it would allow things like cloning and human-animal chimeras. Oh, and Congress passed another continuing resolution, giving themselves 7 more days to avoid a partial government shutdown. Here's a verse to consider when you're closing a significant life chapter. There is an occasion for everything and a time for every activity under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. The Supreme Court once again headlines Trump's 2024 legal lineup. Wednesday, the Supremes announced they'll decide former President Trump's immunity from the criminal prosecution on charges related to interfering with the 2020 election. Arguments are expected to begin in late April, casting uncertainty around the timing of a potential trial. Special counsel Jack Smith has sought quick action, asking for the Supreme Court's immediate intervention back in December, while Trump's lawyers have sought to push any trial until after the election. In other 45 news, Trump lost his request to only pay $100 million of the $454 million fraud judgment against him in New York while his appeal goes through. And an Illinois judge barred Trump from appearing on the ballot. The final outcome of this and other similar efforts will be decided by the Supreme Court any day. It's easy to see the shortcomings of our opponents and cast ourselves in the right. As you root for justice, remember compassion and leave ultimate judgment to our impartial Lord. Matthew 7:1-3 says, "Judge not, that you be not judged. For with the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye?" The largest wildfire in Texas history is raging largely uncontained. The Smokehouse Creek Fire in northwest Texas broke out on Monday during abnormally dry conditions, but the exact cause is unknown. By Thursday, it was consuming an area larger than Rhode Island. 1.1 million acres in the Texas Panhandle and over 100,000 acres in Oklahoma. Fire officials said the inferno, the largest of 5 massive fires in the region, was just 3% contained yesterday. And Texas Governor Greg Abbott issued a disaster declaration to direct resources to 60 affected counties. Thousands are under evacuation orders, and 1 death has been reported, though authorities say they have not yet conducted a thorough search of the damaged areas. Heat and high winds are expected to fuel the flames today and through the weekend. We're asking the pour-over community to join us in supporting relief efforts. We're matching the first $2,000 given. Just email a screenshot of your support to news@thepourover.org. You can give to any organization. Our match is going to Operation Blessing. They are a faith-based nonprofit with a record of doing great work. Operation Blessing is a paid partner of the pour-over. James 2:18-26 says, "Show me your faith without deeds, and I will show you my faith by my deeds. As the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without deeds is dead." Rob Wolf, a biochemist, New York Times bestselling author, and member of the Navy SEAL Resiliency Committee, started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because, he's clearly a slacker. When he told his trainers he felt depleted, they said he needed electrolytes, and Element was born. Element is a tasty electrolyte drink mix that gives you everything you need and nothing you don't, whether you're doing jiu-jitsu or listening to podcasts. That means a science-backed electrolyte ratio, 1,000 milligrams sodium, 200 milligrams potassium, 60 milligrams magnesium, and no sugar. With any order, Element is giving the Pour Over Today listeners a free 8-count sample pack. Try all your flavors and find your favorite. They offer no questions asked refunds, so it's truly risk-free. Try it today with the link in our show notes. In other brews, here's a rapid round of updates. Hamas Health Ministries reports that over 100 people were killed and 750 more wounded after Israeli troops opened fire on Gazan civilians waiting for food. Israel's military says its troops responded with live fire when looters surrounded an aid truck and posed a threat to them. And a stampede caused most injuries. The IDF is reviewing the incident. Hunter Biden testified privately before the House Oversight and House Judiciary Committees on Wednesday after initially defying a subpoena and facing contempt of Congress. Hunter said he never involved his father in business deals and called the investigation a baseless and destructive political charade. The Republican-controlled committees promised to continue the impeachment inquiry into President Biden. Some voters may have more options this November. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will appear on at least 5 states' ballots, he's still promising all 50, after receiving enough signatures in the battleground states of Georgia and Arizona. Meanwhile, Mary Ann Williamson unsuspended her long-shot campaign for the Democratic nomination, saying the party needs an alternative to Biden to defeat Trump. Is Gen Z swiping left on dating apps? Bumble is set to slash 30% of its workforce and ghost roughly 350 employees after disappointing yearly earnings. Sharing in the breakup news, Sony is cutting 900 jobs and shutting down its London studio as it tries to move on from a post-pandemic slump. Wendy's has some fresh, never frozen, beef with media outlets, saying they misconstrued the fast food chain's plans to introduce digital menu boards. Wendy's says the upgrade would enable discounts and value offers when things are slower, but promised they never plan to introduce surge pricing during busy times like lunch, an idea that sparked a backlash against the Baconator maker. And that's all we have for today. Thanks so much for listening. If you're listening on the Apple Podcasts app, give us a 5-star rating and drop a review. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow and hit the notification bell to never miss a new episode. We appreciate your support and hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
Most social media sells your data, peppers you with ads, and curates divisive content. Not Tuvu. Tuvu is wholesome social media built and moderated with the whole family in mind. Choose social media that uplifts rather than drains. Check out Tuvu, that's Tuvu, at the link in our show notes.
Hey, Jason here. Are you tired of culture wars too? If so, check out the Truth Over Tribe podcast. It's too liberal for conservatives and too conservative for liberals. Patrick, a personal friend of mine, and Keith discuss culture, news, and politics, all while seeking to follow the lamb, not the donkey or the elephant.